and welcome to the Strategic Planning Committee. Agenda item 1. Can I remind everybody this is a live broadcast and to use your microphones, please. Also, if you wish, you can follow the presentation on your laptops through Teams.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, there's apologies from Councillor Andy Brown.
Yeah, it went off on its own. It was on. Agenda item 3, declarations of interest. Any declarations of interest? Can't see any. Thank you very much. And we move to I was going to say the first item, but it's the only item. Jenny, presentation, please.
So the application has been made under Section 73 of the Town and Country Planning Act, and the proposal seeks to vary conditions of Planning Permission Reference 2023-0128 EIA for the development of a ground-mounted solar farm, including associated infrastructure at land to the south of the A645 Wadehouse Lane, Drax. The original planning application came to Strategic Planning Committee on the 9th of January 2024, where members resolved to grant planning permissions subject to conditions and a Section 106 legal agreement. The decision was subsequently issued on the 17th of April 2024. This Section 73 application has been reported back to committee following legal advice, as the application is a significant planning application related to energy or physical infrastructure accompanied by an environmental impact statement, and where it is intended to recommend approval. The application seeks to make changes to the layout of the substation compound adjacent to the A645 only. The applicant advises that this is to meet updated requirements of Northern Power Grid, the distribution network operator. So I'll just go through the slides. So on the screen now is the site location plan. So the site is edged in a red line. And this is just overlaid onto a Google image map. So you can see Drax Power Station to the north, as well as Campbellsworth Village to the northwest. So this plan is the site layout plan. So the area outlined with the sort of black box is the area where the substation is located. So that's the only area where there were any changes. The remainder of the site remains as previously proposed. So just zooming into that area, on the left, we've got the approved layout of the substation compound, and on the right, we've got the amended layout of the substation compound. So the area of the compound previously was 5,821.7 metres squared, and in the revised layout it's 4,949.2 metres squared. So it's a smaller area. There's a building to the south of the substation compound, to the south of the compound, that's going to be retained as part of the proposal. So that's shown where I'm just hovering my cursor now, if you can see that. Previously, there were 2 accesses to the substation compound from a single point off the A645. The point from the A645 is remaining the same, but there would just be 1 point of access into the substation compound under the amended proposal. Previously, there were 2 control rooms. I'm just hovering over those now. In the amended layout, there are 3 control rooms. So I'm just hovering over those now. So 2 of the originally proposed control rooms are a bit bigger than they were previously. So they're going from about 17.5 metres wide they're going from about 7.5 metres wide to about 17.5 metres wide. So the main bulk of the building would be about 10 metres wide, and then there's a small offshoot, which makes it about 17.5 metres wide. In terms of the substations, they would be in a different alignment. So they were previously aligned north to south, and they would now be aligned east to west. Again, the substation would be slightly different dimensions. So as I've set out here, it would be 7.5 metres longer, but it would be 3 metres narrower. The overall height would be the same as previously proposed. So just going on to some other drawings to show the context of that. There would be some tree removal at the site entrance, but this would be the same as previously proposed to allow for the access from the A645. There would be landscaping around the whole of the substation compound. That's in addition to some existing landscaping along the roadside. This is just showing the access into the site. So it's just, like I said, one point of access into the compound rather than two. This is the floor plans, sort of the plans and elevations of the substation compound. So the maximum height of that would remain at 6.8. This is the plan of these enlarged control rooms. So like I said, it would be the same depth at 5.4. It would be a greater width at 10 metres to this point, with an offshoot here. And then this is the new control building, which would be within the site. And then just going through some Google images and some pictures of the site. So this is an aerial shot of the site. So this is the area where the substation compound would be. So this building that's existing would remain to the south. So you can see that building here within the picture. And the compound area would be located in this area here. This is just looking from the site entrance onto the A645. Just looking west, so you can see that there's screening to the roadside, existing tree and vegetation screening. And then this is just looking from the opposite side of the road. So the compound, you can see the building, the top of the building here that's there existing, and the substation area would be located behind these trees here. Okay. So the updates to the conditions are set out from page 9.12 of the report. So these are to reflect the updated plans showing the proposed amendment and to reflect conditions which have previously been discharged through discharge condition applications. There was a Section 106 agreement attached to the original consent to secure the management and maintenance of off-site landscaping and skylight plots. There was a clause within that that related to the submission of any future Section 73 applications. So the requirements of that Section 106 agreement would apply to any planning permission that was granted under this application. Just an update to the report. Since the report was written, a further letter of representation, a consultation response has been received from National Grid Transmission. This raises no objections to the proposed amendments to the scheme. The national gas pipeline is to the south of the site through the solar panel area, so it's not close to the substation area where the amendments have been made. So the recommendation to members is that the application be granted subject to the conditions set out in section 11 of the report and the section 106 agreement dated the 5th of April 2024. The publicity period does not expire until the 11th of September, which is Thursday. Therefore, it's requested that members be minded to grant and delegate officers' authority to issue the decision following the end of the publicity period, subject to no new material considerations being raised. Just to note, the publicity period for this application was 30 days as opposed to 21 days, which is what it would usually be with it being an EIA application. The consultation sort of directly with consultees has expired. It's the site notice and press notice that are still running till the 11th. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. We have one speaker on this item, and that's Mr. Youngs. If you'd like to join us, you have 5 minutes. You press the middle button and it should turn green.
Dear Chairman and members of the Strategic Planning Committee, thank you for the opportunity to speak for the committee. I am James Youngs, the Project Manager for Carlton Solar Farm. I would like to thank the officer for their assistance with the planning application process and for their comprehensive report. This Section 73 application seeks to vary the 66 kV substation compound associated with the consented solar and battery project, as a result of the requirements of the Local Distribution Network Operator, or DNO for short, who is Northern Power Grid. These changes include a small increase in the size of the DNO operated control rooms at the request of the DNO, as well as an additional project control room operated by the asset operator. The compound redesign has also seen small changes to the substation elements, enabling the other equipment to fit around them. The number of access tracks into the substation compound has been reduced from 2 to 1 in order to better serve the compound. But no changes to the access into the site from the public highway have been made. Overall, the total area of the substation compound has been reduced. Additional planting to provide screening for the changes to the substation compound has been integrated into the design, and these changes have not resulted in any objections or actionable comments from the consultees or residents. Both the Landscape and Highways Officer have provided their written acceptance of these small changes, alongside the Case Officer providing their recommendation for approval. An addendum to the environmental statement has been included with the application, which has found that any effects from these changes would be consistent with the original project assessment. Therefore, considering the very limited changes and our careful approach to the revised design of the substation compound and the consultee's acceptance, we are therefore seeking approval today to enable the project to progress towards construction so that it can start generating renewable energy and making a meaningful contribution to the country's 2030 clean power targets as soon as possible. Thank you all very much for listening.
Thank you very much. Members, questions to Jenny? Oh, Councillor Timothy.
The retained building, on the photographs showed us it looked like a barn. Is that what it is?
Yes, as far as I'm aware, it's just sort of like a general purpose, agricultural building.
Supplementary? No. Councillor Packham.
Yeah, thanks. Councillor Timothy actually asked the question I was largely thinking about, and I think we still don't really know what it's going to be used, so it's just general storage, is it? Just one question on that building. A little bit of it isn't within the application area, I just happened to notice.
You mean the building to be retained, that's going to be retained? I mean, that's not part of, it's not in the control of the applicant, it's not part of their proposals. It will be operated separate to the solar farm and the...
Okay, so it's just to be retained and continue to be used by the existing owner.
Yeah.
That's the clarification I needed, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Peacock.
It was just that it was mentioned about it being a high risk for flooding, and I'm sure this came out when the original application, and it's sort of saying that it won't flood for surface flooding, but how close is a river to it? How close, and have we had anything regarding that? And I suppose I'm a bit green on a lot of these things. I presumed it would be able to go under what they're putting there if it did flood. I don't know. I'm just asking the questions.
So flood risk was assessed as part of the original application by the original case officer. I wasn't the case officer for the original application. This application is just an amendment to that original application. There are no changes in terms of sort of the levels of the site in that area or the levels of the buildings in that area compared to what was previously assessed, and it was previously assessed to be acceptable in terms of flood risk.
So we're just presuming that it was done correctly in the first place. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more questions? I move to debate. Any debate? Councillor Mann.
For me, this is not a controversial application. I think, as the speaker explained, there is a slight increase to the size of the building, and an extra building is being added. And it's just, at the end of the day, an amendment to an existing permission. I'm very grateful for the applicant for bringing the application forward so we can look at these changes. But I don't think it's controversial amongst the local residents either. That's the feeling I've got from reading the report. And I would support the recommendations in the report. I'm mindful of the fact that you said we should be mindful of the approval. We've got to wait for the expiry of the consultation period, but I would certainly support the recommendation in the report. Thank you, Chair.
All I was going to do was propose we accept, but I'm thinking I might be seconding.
It was a proposal, a rather bad
Yeah,
one.
in that case, I'm happy to second.
Yeah.
Councillor Lee.
Thanks, Chairman. Yeah, I support the officer's recommendation, and I think just reading through the report, we're looking at very minor changes really on an application that's previously been approved. And if you look at the report, you can see that on the consultations, no one's even responded. So I don't think it's particularly controversial. So yeah, happy to support the recommendations.
Any others? Oh, Councillor Swanwick.
Is that it? Yeah. Well, at the risk of being boring and repetitive, I'm also going to suggest that we accept the recommendations. We had a long discussion in January last year about this application. It is sitting within the shadow of the old Eggborough Power Station, which was a non-renewable site. It's good to see renewable energy being developed on this site. I would suggest we support it.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers? No. We've got a proposal and a second. Can we go to the vote, please? All those in favour? Unanimous.
If you're unanimous.
Thank you very much. That motion's passed. We've got one other item. As it happens, no. But we will get to that eventually. Agenda item 5, we've got a site visit in Malton, and we've got three dates for people to pick from. 22nd, 23rd and 24th of September. If members could please let us know which days would be best for them. 22nd, 23rd, 24th of September. And we'll go with the majority if that's all right. It's thank you. Yes, please. If you could let
Chair, if members want to come back to me before the end of this week, and then I can let the officer know when the visit's going to be.
It's a site visit in Malton. John? Yep. Well, just let us know what days you could do, please. Yeah. Thank you. We'll look into that, John, if that's all right, and let you know. Agenda item 6, date of next meeting, 14th of October. Could be anywhere. I close the meeting. Thank you very much.